Mike, before we get started, Chris owes his fans an apology, and he said he's going to explain why he missed out on 2 shows back to back.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Chris. You got the floor. I can go outside as long as you take.
Shut up. Come on, man. Why you busting my balls, man?
Because you left the comments saying I'm going to explain it.
I mean, well,
let's get it out the way. Let's get it out the way. So
Chris,
let's just forget about it. Let's just move on.
No, Chris, before you start, I've seen on.
Oh, we gotta move on. I got my glasses on.
On Instagram.
Let's talk about the new glasses, the new look.
Yeah, I wanna know.
Hold
I
on.
like the glasses.
You ain't the only one.
Okay.
Only I have
the Persols, though. I went with the Persols.
Yeah.
You know, the beefy.
Are we going to be the non-fighting nerds now?
Non-fighting nerds.
All right, listen. Anyways, this is welcome, Mike Morris. Welcome to the round table, my man.
Thank you for having me.
How you doing, Mike?
I haven't seen you since the old Metroflex days.
Yes. Yeah. I still
what,
go there. That's still my
2014?
gym. Probably somewhere around there. Yeah.
Are you still in Arizona?
Yes. Yeah, I sure am.
Oh, I had
So
no
are you,
idea.
right? Or are you living in Germany?
No, I'm in Arizona. I'm right now I'm in Germany, but I live in Arizona.
Yeah, I'm still in Arizona. Yeah.
Oh, you're still there? I had no idea. I thought you're gone. I thought you went somewhere else.
Nope. Just kind of flying.
So you're still training at Metroflex?
Yes, I am. Yeah, it's a little smaller now.
Okay.
They have fob keys that kind of get you in there. But it's a, still a hardcore gym. It's still Metroflex. It's just a little more exclusive clientele.
Yeah. See, because I've never seen you at the shows either.
I haven't been going to any of the shows. Now, the Olympia last year was in Vegas, and I really wanted to go, but my wife's cousin was getting married, and family comes first, so we had to miss it. So I do want to get out to the Olympia, and if it's in Vegas next year, I will be there. I just heard a lot of things of. Say that again.
It's in Vegas this year and next year.
Okay, I will be there. That is the plan, unless another cousin.
What about local shows, local Arizona shows?
You have a show coming up, don't you, Dennis?
Like Dennis James Classic.
Yeah, he's never been at my show either.
Yeah, I just haven't been. I mean, I've kind of been doing a whole new, living the happily married life and just not really following bodybuilding too much anymore.
There you go. So that's the question. The next question I had for you: if you follow bodybuilding, because as you probably know on this podcast, we do talk about bodybuilding a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I know that I've been kind of brushing up, and I know the top 5s at the Olympia and the Arnold. But I feel like the physiques have changed a lot, and I certainly really don't follow the men's physique or the men's classic. Yeah.
Why you don't follow men's physique?
Now, Milo, don't stop that.
Don't start.
This guy.
You got this guy ready to go.
Don't start. Okay.
But
Mike, Dorian Yates said the same thing. He stopped following and watching the shows, And
Right.
yeah, I can understand that. I am under this oath: once a bodybuilder, always a bodybuilder. I mean, Arnold still speaks to this day. He's forever bodybuilder, right? You were competing at the highest level. I mean, I competed. My last 4 shows, you were in them. 2001 and 2003. You were in all 4 of them. How can you just get disinterested?
Well, it's not it's a good question. As you guys know, I mean, I had some health issues towards the end. I had some trouble with painkillers toward the end. So my kidneys started to, I had to retire from bodybuilding because of the kidney issues that I was having, and moved here and just started a whole new life. And I just kind of realized I need to get all of this out of my life completely. So I'm kind of a all or nothing kind of a person. So I cut out all the steroids, all the drugs, all the painkillers, everything. And in hindsight, now that I'm a little older, and a little more mature, I guess there's a part of me that was a little bitter and a little, I guess that's the best word to say, where it's kind of like a little angry, angry at myself, angry at the world, angry at the sport of bodybuilding, that I put so much into this. And, thought that I was going to be this big star. I mean, ever since a young teenager, before I ever wanted to turn pro or be Mr. Olympia, I kind of thought, like, once you turn pro, you're in the magazines, and now you're getting money, and now you're going to get a contract with Weider, and you're going to be getting paid a monthly salary. But none of that kind of seemed to, come to pass. And so maybe the best way to answer your question is, I guess there's a part of me that just wanted to, you know what, I did my best at this, and now I have to retire because my kidneys aren't cleaning my body the way they need to be. And I just kind of walked away from it. Now, when I did retire in 2005, I kept going to the Olympia and kept going to the Nationals and Arnold Classic and things like that. But at that period of time, I was still trying to get the drugs and the painkillers out of my system. I don't think I realized how much I was addicted to those things. I mean, steroids.
When you say drugs or painkillers, what are you talking about?
Oxycontin, Nubain.
Oh, okay. So the opioids.
Right. But then it was also like a dual-edged sword. When I retired too, I was like, oh, I'm retired, party time. So now it was like going to the clubs and taking ecstasy and ketamine and things like that. And, I had never done that stuff earlier in my career in bodybuilding. I was straight edge. I was just doing performance enhancement drugs, be the best bodybuilder I could be. And then towards the end of my career, all these like alcohol came in. I never drank when I was a teenager or stuff. I mean, I had a drink maybe here and there, but I never got drunk with friends. So once I retired and realized, hey, this drinking stuff is pretty fun too. So I don't want to say I had a
funny when you say that. It sounds to the listeners, it sounds like that if you want to be a bodybuilder, you're going to get into drugs and you're going to get drunk. You got to do all that shit, which is not really true. You don't have
to be fair, the pain stuff is like, you want to I don't know, you want to get through the workout the best way as possible. A lot of us thought, listen, Dennis, a lot of people thought that you can get through your workouts better if you was on Nubain to get past the pain threshold.
Okay, but Chris, if you're honest, that was an excuse that those guys had. That wasn't because you need to get through a workout without pain. What's wrong with going through a workout without
lower
pain?
back pain, knee pain.
Okay, so that means
pain of the breath.
I think
that means everybody got to be on Nubain.
I think you're both. I think it is an excuse, and I think that it's.
But when you lose your saying, I'm going to take this because I want to burn fat. I want to take this because I'm going to get bigger. I want to take this. I want to hold a bit more water in the muscle. I want to take this to lubricate the joints more. It's a natural progression sometimes to be like, oh, I'm in pain. I'm going to take this for pain. I'm going to take this.
Yeah, but Chris, it's different if you don't get addicted.
I'm just telling the mindset behind it.
I know, but you can't get addicted to diuretics, but you can definitely get addicted to opioids. And then you tell yourself, oh, my back pain, no back pain at all.
Realize at the time, I mean, clearly, and especially in hindsight, I didn't realize how addictive it was. I didn't realize like how addictive a substance like that could be, and all of those substances, Nubain, Percocet, Vicodin, because there are times when I would stop. I was like, I want to prove to myself that I can stop taking Nubain, and I'd stop taking Nubain, and then unbeknownst to me, I'm throwing a few Vicodin in here and there and things like that. So you're kind of, again, it might be an excuse, you're lying to yourself, but in hindsight, I can look at myself and be like, wow, I was addicted.
Okay, but what made you start taking it?
Yeah.
What was the reason for you to take it?
There was no reason. There was no reason at all. I didn't have any kind of an injury.
You're seeing all the other pros use it, so you think this is just the way, this is what you do.
When I tried Nubain, I told the story before where there was a pharmacist that was kind of giving me stuff out the back door, and he actually gave me Nubain. He wanted to sell it at first, and I was like, I don't want that. I know that's bad. But then he just gave it to me. And then I gave it to a friend, and then he gave it back to me. And then I pretty much just had it sitting on my shelf for months at a time. I was like, you know what? Let me just try this. I took it sub Q. I took just a couple IUs, and I didn't even hardly feel it. Maybe I felt a little flush, and it was like a glass of wine. I was like, okay, this is like having a drink. No big deal. And then I just put it away, and I was like, I'm never going to do that again. But then maybe I took it again, maybe a couple months later. And then before that, I don't know. It just kind of slid right in. But there was a part where all the other bodybuilders were doing it. I was like, well, shit, if they're doing it, I mean, and then I did hear, like you said as an excuse, but I did hear with things Chris was saying, where bodybuilders are taking this to help you push past that pain threshold. When you're doing your preacher curls or whatever, and you get to that 15th rep and you want to stop, maybe if it doesn't hurt so much, maybe I can eke out 2 more. So
Yeah.
you can say that's an excuse, but maybe that part, and so many, people you look up to are saying that, I mean, I'm just telling you my point of view from it.
Okay.
So
Can we touch the subject? Because Chris, you know from Gold's Venice, and I'm sure. I mean, Dennis, you heard it. You probably never used it because I also told you never to do it. So Nuben is nalbuphine hydrochloride, and it's anesthetic given to ladies when they're giving a birth for the.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
okay. So somebody in England started like using it, and then the word went around. First, it's anti-catabolic, and it's a painkiller. Okay, so anti-catabolic is gonna preserve your muscle during this dieting days before it. Bullshit. Tell me what I want to hear. It's monkey see, monkey do. Okay.
Tell me what-
You say lubricate the joint. There is no lubrication from fucking Nuben guarantee, but you
Lubricate the
get
brain.
high. Yeah, you do get high, okay, and feeling of high, especially for somebody that they are kind of addictive. And why are people addictive? Because they feel something they like. Oh, so if I like today, I would want to like it tomorrow too. And then next thing you know, now you depend on it.
Let me
But
tell you the story how I came to even hear what Nuben. I had no idea what it
Yeah.
was. I didn't even know that was so available in Thailand in the pharmacies because I never even thought about it. I came after I won the USA's back in 1998. And I can say the story because the person is no longer with us, and he will be the first one to tell you too.
Mm.
I come to the Hawaiian Championship. They always brought the USA champion. Chris, you probably remember that. Every year, whoever won the USA overall went to guest post in Hawaii.
Oh yeah, I did that.
So when I went there, it was me, 98, and there was also Yolanda Hughes was with us, and Tom Prince.
Mm.
So I knew Tom Prince because I competed against him at the Nationals the year before, and where he turned pro. So he was already a pro. I don't even know why he was there. I think he guest post too. Anyway, so I arrive at the hotel, and then I get a phone call in my room, and it's Tom Prince. He said, "Hey man, come down to my room," And I'm thinking, shit. So I went down to his room, and he was talking to me, and everybody knows Tom. He was a cool dude. He was open, and all of a sudden he started fucking pulling this bottle, and I'm thinking, my stupid ass, I think it's his insulin. So he pulls that thing out, and then he hits himself right in front of me while he's talking like this is fucking normal.
Yeah.
Chris, I was sitting there, and I was like, nah, this can't be insulin. He had bottles everywhere, and then he had this vein that looked like a fucking golf ball.
Mm.
And he hit himself and talking to me, and then he asked me, "Oh, you want some?" I said, "No, man, what the fuck is this?" He said, "Nubane." I said, "What's Nubane?" I didn't know. He said, "Oh yeah, it takes pain away and it makes you feel better. It's easier to train on this." I said, "Nah, no, thank you." So I was literally a little bit dramatized because I spoke to Yolanda before we went for dinner that night. I said, "I can't believe he just did something in his vein right in front of me." That's stupid. I was still stupid.
Where was
She
he
didn't
at?
believe it. She didn't believe it. So we get
Were you in
picked
his
up.
room, or where were you guys at?
That was in his room, but he had this pouch with him all the time.
Yeah.
Get picked up to go for dinner, and I'm sitting in the front in the passenger seat. Yolanda's in the back, and Tom is next to Yolanda. And I'm talking to Yolanda before we got in the car, and I told her that what I witnessed. She said, "No, for real?" I said, "Like it's normal."
Yeah.
And we're in the car. Huh?
That is identical situation. Exactly what you said right now. I'm taking Genrico Pica with me to Craig Titus's room for the Olympia, right? I was preparing him. We walk into the door, and he never met Genrico. So I want to introduce, Craig to Genrico because he's Italian, bodybuilding fan. He would like to meet Craig. Open the door. Craig doesn't even look at him and say, so all of a sudden he goes, "Kelly," for Kelly Ryan. "Where's my Nuben?" Right? And she's running. He just grabbed, "Bitch, don't ever take her," right? And it's
Come on.
listen, this you gotta understand. So he pulls whatever amount, shit. Boop, he's doing this like nothing, and then oh, hey bro, who are you? As he's pushing it in, I was like speechless, like holy.
Yeah. For me, that was a shock.
Yeah,
There
that
was
was so normal.
Yeah, for me, there was a lot of things that were shocking to me when I came to the U.S. After shows, and after parties, and what was going on. That was a little shock for me because I wasn't used to it. But yeah, so and that's the first time I heard about it, and then I realized how many people really used it. And the problem is, it's not something that you use once in the morning and you good until the next day. They use this several times.
But also the GHB at the time was very widely used.
They use GHB for training.
No, for sleep.
Trying to get fall
Oh, for
asleep.
sleep. Yeah. Hey, you remember when GHB was available through the magazine?
Yeah, it was in all the stores.
I got mine at GNC. I got my first bottle at GNC. Good to increase your growth.
All the health food stores they had it.
But that was when it was still powder though, right?
Powder, yeah, it was powder.
Yeah. When they came out with that damn fucking liquid, then all of a sudden you don't know what the fuck was in there, damn dishwasher and all kind of stupid shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
listen, the world is bodybuilding. I've seen some shit, but it's good to hear a story from you because most people say the same thing. They said it's for my pain.
I do want to ask, Mike,
Yeah.
because I did use it once because my training partner, Ronnie Schmidt, at the time convinced me, right? With all these beautiful stories. And I'm always like this, okay, well, why not try it? And I got so nauseous, so sick, spinning all over the place. Thank God that I will never use it again. But they were saying that actually it does reduces the pain, and that there was many bodybuilders that would tear the muscle because they didn't have the pain signal.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know how much truth is to it. Now, Mike, if you would admit, right? You admit already that you used all those things and kind of it was more for excuse rather than directed. Okay, this is a painkiller. Did you use it as a painkiller or to get you high and make you train?
Once I was taking it regularly, I guess a good way to explain it is because you said you got to take it several times a day, and I did. It was like a cigarette, like there was points like where I didn't want to take it. I would wake up and I'm like, I'm not going to take my thing. But then you eat that meal and then you get it just kind of, once it's in your system, the feeling of wanting to take it just starts to creep on you. And it's a lot like a cigarette. First thing when you wake up, you want it. After a meal, you want it. After sex, you want it. I mean, it's like I was doing it probably 15 times a day. So
Mike,
times a day.
Mike, but like, I don't want guys to think that this is your whole career. This is not your whole career. This is towards the end, because when Mike first walked into the gym, he was bright-eyed, and I remember when he first walked in the gym, he was a very, very strong guy. Like, I want to give you your flowers on that. You was a strong cat, and for your height and weight and everything, you was like challenging me on the damn incline. You was like, he said, I want to see who's the best. I want to see who's the strongest.
I remember
like that. Remember?
I do. I sure do.
Yeah, we went for it a little bit on the incline press. Remember that.
So how long did it take for you to completely, get away from it?
Well, I think it was soon after I moved to California that the addiction, and this is all hindsight, Dennis, remember, because like when I'm taking it, I think I was taking a little bit of Nubane here and there when I moved to California. But once I moved to California, that's when I started doing intravenously, and that's when it started just to become all day long. What was your question again?
How long did it take you to completely stop everything?
Now that you're saying, which year did you move to California?
I moved to California about 2003, and I was there until about 2005. So I guess my addiction started somewhere around when I turned pro, and somewhere around when I turned pro. All through Venice Beach, California, all through 2005, all through 2010, and even from that 2005 to 2010 period was like a struggle of coming off, coming off and then having it come back. I mean, because also I'm dealing with just retiring from bodybuilding, shrinking down, stopping taking all the gear I was taking, getting my mind wrapped around like, I'm walking around at 265 and now I'm like losing 10 pounds every couple months. It's a little depressing. So that was another thing that kind of kept me reaching for the drugs. And then after I finished with the opiate addiction, I got onto Suboxone, which is a great medication to help you come off of opiates. But then I was hooked on that for about a decade. I couldn't come off of the Suboxone. So to answer your question, Dennis, it was probably about 15 years before I finally kicked it or so. And
I
then
mean,
it-
did you then
Go
did
ahead.
you have like a period like you had a progression of coming out of competition to promotion and all the stuff you do now, training people? That's what you were doing when you came off. But did you have a period in which you were depressed about I'm not gonna be up in there on the stage no more. I'm not gonna feel the crowd. I'm not gonna none of that chasing down a competition or people like me or something like that? Did you get something like that?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
What was the question? I
Like,
thought
did you get,
Mike.
no, I was saying, did you get like a
Oh,
coming
me
up period?
personally, after I
Yeah.
retired?
Yeah,
No, I was done.
nothing.
Nothing. I have
Yeah.
no issues. I don't have any issues with losing
Well, I mean,
weight.
but did you feel like a depression type period of
Nah,
nothing, huh?
nah.
You,
I had a plan B. You
yeah,
know, you have to have a plan B. You got to stay occupied. You got to keep doing something, and even if it's just training other people, because you can live through others and still be involved. You know what I mean? But just don't have to be on stage. Chris, it's different if you retire in your 30s or if you retire in your towards the late 40s. I mean, I ain't got no more business up there, so why would I miss it?
yeah. Well, I mean, just I felt like I felt it got snatched away from me the way I got hurt.
It's
And
different. Yeah, for you, it's different. You didn't even get a chance to retire. But
yeah,
to answer the other question, yes, I wish I would have beat you a couple more times for sure. I wish I would have spanked you about 1 or 2 more times. Yeah, but here's
Hey,
what
it
did I
was
ask
fun
you?
though, man. It was a lot of fun, bro.
Yeah.
Fun,
Mike,
man.
here's because I looked through your social media and it sounds you come across as somebody who turned his life around and is more for health, and especially because you mentioned you had issues with your kidneys. And I saw a video that you posted on your page where you said that through some changes you made, you reversed or you improved your kidney function.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people that listen to us that have issues, and I would like for you to maybe, elaborate a little bit on that so people can hear from a person like you really what was going on and what you did in order to make improvements.
Well, it's as simple as identifying everything you're putting in your body that can be doing damage to your system and kidneys and removing all of them. And then in addition to that, putting in things into your body that you believe are going to heal you. So what are all those bad things? PEDs, recreational drugs, alcohol, smoking, tobacco, marijuana, vaping, the list goes on. I mean, you don't have to be a rocket scientist, but there's a lot of things that affect your kidneys and all the systems of your body. And you have to take the same mental approach as far as what I put into bodybuilding as far as the effort was concerned, and removing all those things, not doing that, and then leading a lifestyle of healthy and putting good things in my body. And, what are those good things? Making sure I get 8 hours of sleep consistently, making sure I eat whole, clean foods, making sure I consume a lot of fresh, clean water. And then there's other supplements like dandelion root, milk thistle, and that's a whole laundry list of things too. But just like bodybuilding, where you have to have your diet in place and make sure you get your protein and your carbs and your fats and everything all systematic. That's how I live my lifestyle now. I make sure I eat very systematically 3 times a day. I make sure I get my sleep. I make sure I'm only putting pure, clean food into my body. I don't want to say never, rarely, but I try not to eat cake and chips, and I don't drink any soda. We did have a couple little cake couple nights ago, because you got to enjoy yourself a little bit. But I view my body as like a machine now, and my kidneys are still at the level where they're at. I'm doing okay. I don't feel anything, but every time I go to get my tests, I wonder if my creatinine level is going to tick up again. So, I mean, I know it's not good for me to sit here and eat Doritos and soda every day. So I'm certainly not going to do that. But on the other side of that, I want to make sure I eat whole clean eggs. I want to make sure I eat chicken breast. I want to make sure I eat rice, fruits and vegetables. Sometimes I try to buy organic the best I can. So I'm just trying to, I think of my kidneys as just a filter for a car, except the filter in my car, I get to replace it with a new one. Well, you can actually replace your kidneys, but I don't want to go down that road. So I'm just making sure all the stuff I put into my body is not going to clog up my kidneys that are already kind of affected a little bit, put it that way.
Compromised. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of other people that have the same issue, with
Yeah.
compromised kidneys, and not everybody talks about it. That's why I think it's good for you to say something. For
Yeah,
other people to
absolutely.
listen, because there's things you can do to, once the damage is done, that's not easy to reverse, but you can do something to make sure it doesn't get any worse.
Absolutely. Well, that's when I retired. I went to a doctor and then went to a nephrologist. And the nephrologist said to me, he's like, we just have to get you ready for dialysis in the next year or so. And I was like, okay, I was like, what do we got to do? What do you got to give me? What's the medication I take? Tell me what to do, fix me. And they're like, well, there's nothing you can do. You just got to, and I just walked out of that appointment and processed everything and then started studying and kind of researching, like, what do I got to do to heal my kidneys? And I did.
Did you ever do dialysis? You never did it?
No, never. No,
Oh, that's awesome.
well, the blessing to that story is I went to that nephrologist maybe like, I don't know, a year later or whatever, and my kidney test came down, because from what he was explaining to me, your kidney tests, they don't come down. They just keep rising and rising. But I think my creatinine level was somewhere around a 3.7 or something like that. My BUN was somewhere around 60. And right now my creatinine level is somewhere around 1.8. I think I did get a 1.9 recently. But that's kind of where they're sitting now. But like I said, I'm just implementing all these things to making sure they don't get worse and trying to heal them the best way I can. But I've already kind of gone through my phase of the readings are so high up here, and now I've brought them down to where they are. And now I'm stable, which is good. But back in my mind, I'm always concerned about, when is it going to tick up? I'm 54.
And
What happens when we get into our 60s? What happens when we get into our 70s? So that's
Yeah.
Because
You're
Mike,
54 years
remember?
old?
Oh, sorry.
I do have a question, Mike. Okay. Obviously, when you do the tests and you see those results, and then doctors freak and you freak out with them. But health-wise, did you feel unhealthy? Did you feel some pain? Did you feel something going on with your kidneys? Did you have troubles?
There was for years where I would have headaches. There was for years, every time I would seldom go to the doctor, I got my blood pressure done. My blood pressure was somewhere around 200 over 100. It was very high. So, there were doctors who were saying, hey, you need to stop all of this or you're going to kill yourself. But I was like, well, I need to turn pro. I'm not going to listen to you. But there were signs. I did get nosebleeds and headaches. And then shortness of breath, but I'm sure you guys all experience that at your heaviest body weight. You go up a couple flights of steps and you're just
High blood pressure.
high blood pressure. Even when you have this much muscle as we did in the past, you're rolling around 250 pounds plus. It's a strain on all your organs.
So you never took blood pressure medication knowing you have high blood pressure?
Pressure medication once I got that news from the nephrologist. And he put me on 3 different blood pressure medications. He wanted to put me on Lasix. I didn't want to take that, but I think I took Norvastac and lisinopril. I still take lisinopril to this day. And that's kind of one of the things I preach, is to tell bodybuilders, like anybody else that's having kidney issues, take your blood pressure medication, because I didn't want it, because I went to the doctor before that nephrologist, and when my blood pressure was super high, doctors would tell me, you got to stop this or you're going to kill yourself. Not one of them said like, well, hey, Mike, I understand you got a goal. Why don't you take this little bit of lisinopril? Why don't you take some medication to control your blood pressure? And it's not going to affect your training. It's not going to affect your condition on stage. You're going to be a healthier bodybuilder, and you're probably going to look better on stage because you're controlling your blood pressure. You have a healthier system. So that's one thing I would tell to your audience members that are going through, high kidney readings and they still want to compete. Control your blood pressure.
Right. Yeah, we've been saying this all along. Blood pressure is the main thing. You got to control it, and if you're super bloated in off season, there's a very good chance that your blood pressure is sky high.
Yeah.
You know.
Hey,
And,
I
people
want
just
to.
don't think. Hmm?
I was going to add something, Mike. I was there when you first started feeling like, I remember we were in Australia in one of the hotel rooms, and you had pushed like your thumb inside your leg, like right after the competition.
Yeah.
Remember that day?
That was when I came back and got the readings from the doctor.
Yeah.
Yep.
Also, you had like
It did edema.
water retention, severe water retention.
Yeah, bad.
It did edema. Yes.
Hmm.
And his whole thumb went inside his leg, and the hole just stayed there. It freaked me out. I was like, holy shit, like what the hell?
Hmm.
I felt so bad, man, because I know you really wanted to continue your competition, your goals and everything. And I was like, damn.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so that's when you decided. That's when you got scared enough, and you left the competition, right? It's like 2005, right?
Yeah. Once I got that news from the nephrologist, and I mean, it's a blessing. I thank God that I'm alive. I thank God for healing.
It's interesting, Chris. You remember that, like 2005 in Australia, and actually you saw it. He pushed the leg, and it just got in that. Oh,
Yeah, so I was there also when Flex did, right after the Ironman. He pressed in his ankle area. He had just he was eating a pizza after the show. He just won, and we were all there celebrating. He pushed his thumb inside his ankle area, and it was like a big old indentation.
2003.
That was I don't know. He won the show. I don't know if it was 98.
That was
But Flex did get a couple of warnings from the doctor.
98, yeah.
He knew it.
Yeah.
He knew it. It went
I think
good.
98. It was some 97, 98. It was somewhere in there before.
Yeah, 2005 in Australia, Lee Priest beat you, right?
I was pissed off. No. Man,
let's talk bodybuilding. Let's talk bodybuilding. We are less than 3 weeks out from the Pittsburgh Pro, guys. It's shaping up to be an awesome event. Now, I want to talk to you guys, and I hope, Mike, and I'm sure you are.
He follows enough. I'm sure.
Huh?
He follows enough. I can see in his face.
Mike, you know that the Pittsburgh Pro
I've been doing a little more research, especially into the bodybuilding.
Okay, so we have the Pittsburgh Pro coming up May, what is it, 11th, 10th? No, 11th and 10th and 11th, I think. Where we have a former Mr. Olympia competing, Derek Lunsford, who just won the Arnold. He's also throwing his hat in the mix at the Pittsburgh Pro, which a lot of people think that this is not the smartest idea.
I saw that online. I did read about that.
Yeah. So here's what I wanted to talk about, because Martin Fitzwater, who's also a favorite for the top 3, he's also in the show. And I just saw Martin guest pose this past weekend. Not guest pose, he took his shirt off and he hit some mandatory poses.
He was guest posing.
Huh?
I think he was guest posing.
Was he guest posing in long pants?
With his pants on. I know.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Well, so, and then I don't know. From what I saw, I didn't really see, and sometimes you got to be there in person to really see the guy, but it wasn't really that impressive to me, to be honest.
What did impress you?
My impression is that I don't know. I'm asking you guys, is he a little behind? Does he look smaller? Could he be flat now? That could be one option. He's flat now, but he just, I don't know. When I compare him now with Nick, I personally right now feel that Nick's going to beat Martin.
Yeah, he'll beat Martin. But Martin is flat right now. Like you said, he is flat right now. He's in the process of how he's going to look, but this is not how he's going to look. He's definitely going to look bigger at the Pittsburgh show. He definitely be bigger.
But to talk about Nick is a guy that he always looks better on stage than in pictures. Every single time. I don't think I ever liked Nick better in pictures than on stage, which is usually the opposite for other guys. They look better in the pictures, and then when they step on stage, they don't come across. So, and for Nick, I think it's the exact opposite. Whatever he looks in pictures, he's going to look even better when he steps on stage.
Mike,
So,
you fella, did you see the Nick, Derek, and Martin hype in last few weeks? You know, they're doing this show and they're all saying, I mean, they all believe they can win. And that's really to establish who's going to be in the top at Olympia, like top 3, the 3rd place, maybe, because we still have a Samson and Hadi right there at first and second. But okay, do you follow Martin Fitzwater?
I did hear a little bit of the controversy where I knew that Derek got 3rd at the Mr. Olympia, Samson won, and now we just had the Arnold where Derek won and Samson got 2nd. So now he kind of dethroned the current Mr. Olympia, which kind of hasn't happened before. I mean, it reminds me of when Gunther beat Ronnie at the New Orleans back in 2003 or whatever. So, and now you guys are talking about the Pittsburgh, and you know, I can see where people would say, you just beat the reigning Mr. Olympia, ride that all the way into the Olympia. But you know, I've been thinking about this, and there's a part of me that always kind of leans towards Wayne Gretzky says you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So I would tell Derek, you know, if you want to compete, and plus he's the ruler of his own destiny. Like, who are we to tell him what to do? You know,
right.
Michael Jordan.
I think if he thinks he should do it, he should do it. I mean, if you think you're the best, I mean, as bodybuilders, we all train to be the best, and you should, if you think you can prepare and be in the best shape you can for that show, then do it. I was the kind of person where I, you know, I couldn't do like shows month after month after month. I like to have a little bit of time off to kind of put size on again, kind of relax, and then do the pre-contest stuff. But I know there are some bodybuilders that like to, you know, compete extremely. Milo's, you're the example of that. You just did them all, you know?
Yeah.
So, but what do you guys see when you saw Martin Fitzwater guest posing? What did you see?
Okay. Well, I'll tell you, Dennis. So let's go one by one. You say about Nick looking better on the stage than the pictures. You and I both agreed, Dennis, that Nick winning Arnold Classic that year, he shocked the world, and that kind of Nick can possibly win the Olympia. I mean, this kind of Nick, even though I don't like the shape and structure exactly, he has so many other attributes, you know, of a freakiness and density and thickness and width and strong poses, that if he brings that version and a little bit bigger, he's going to be super hard to beat. Derek made a badass move. I take my hat off to him. I mean, to dethrone the champ and get himself in the fire. It doesn't make strategic sense, but he is so confident, and he's going, as he's saying, he wants to have a triple. He has a Pittsburgh Arnold Classic at Olympia. Phenomenal. Is this a risky move? Hey, yeah. But hey, you take the risk and don't regret anything that the shot that you didn't take. By the way, I think that was Michael Jordan that said that, not Gretzky, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
Hey, let me tell you. You know what? We should have DJ go, and then me go. Okay. I go my little short spurt, and then you the finisher. You like the closing argument, Milo. Okay. That's how we should be doing this, because after you go, then nobody can really say much, because you didn't set it up. Every analogy, everything you could do, every which your way.
This is like ChatGTP.
He just hey, but
you
check
put
this.
2 words in, and he's going to run the whole thing down. Yeah, but
but listen, one thing I was going to say is Derek already had it planned that he wanted to do multiple shows.
Right.
And just so happened.
You mentioned it on the table.
Yeah, he wanted to do multiple shows, and he had already planned to do it, you know, before people knew it. He had already planned to do it, signed, sealed, and delivered. He was going to do the Pittsburgh. He was already. So it wasn't like he wanted to, like, oh, I'm going to throw my hat in it. But he said he never really competed that much, and he wanted to, you know, get up there and, you know, get on the stage and, you know, learn the things he didn't learn from doing just Olympias. and get out there and just being a bodybuilder, and bodybuilders compete. So it was more like that. It wasn't like something else, but just so happened that he won that show, which was the best outcome could be. And then, the Pittsburgh, and then, wherever it goes after that, it goes. But I think that was the thing. But I was gonna say about Martin, I think Martin's flat right now, but he's gonna be bigger. I just wasn't an impressive look. The front double bicep is not that.
Yeah, it just didn't look.
The chest.
I like Martin, and I like his physique, and I like everything about him. But when I saw that, I was like, I don't know if that was good 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, or 3 weeks before the Pittsburgh Pro.
And I don't know how much the posing has ramped up, but he was a little rusty with some of the poses, letting the stomach go and some of the 3/4 shots and stuff like that.
I'm sure after the comments that he got and the internet, he's going to ramp it up now.
Oh yeah, he's going to ramp it up. He's going to ramp it. And you just start to see some of the things. You have like a little 4-pack. You don't really have like a whole lot of abs going down his body, so you could just see some of the things that but I think he's gonna have a better package. He's gonna be fuller, he's gonna be bigger when he goes to compete. It's just right now that wasn't the best
How
look.
dangerous is Goodvito in this lineup?
I still think he needs work for me. I don't know about how you guys feel, but I still see the back of a bicep is not where it should be. The lat spread thickness, I mean, he's got the width, all the width in the world, but the actual thickness away from the body is not there yet.
Did you see the picture they posted with
upper body and his legs?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That shit was lethal.
Yeah.
That shit was lethal.
Okay, can I throw my Martin opinion in because I didn't answer?
You didn't get there yet. Go ahead, Milos.
Yeah. So up until I've seen Martin in Tocha Gym right before the Olympia, I didn't really appreciate his conditioning and what kind of super thin skin he can get, that onion skin that Samir Banu is talking about. And really, when I took a picture, I even look at the picture, I couldn't see it. But in person, I was like, took my breath away. Like, holy hell. Now, as you said, he had a 4-pack, not really a 6-pack, middle of the body, right? And that's where shape and, the appreciation of aesthetics would come. So this first, he doesn't have it, right? Then when you say the frontal biceps, he doesn't have a peaking biceps, hanging triceps. So the first impression when you look at it, right, like Dennis, like you say, in this guest posing, it was all there, but nothing was there. It's like one of those, okay, the thickness side of it, all that, but you don't really see it. Martin shines on the stage. Like when he showed up at Olympia and when they put him in that top 4 call out, like, holy hell, he's that good, right? Nothing missing. And then he gave Nick, who was highly favored for New York last year, he gave him run for the money, so you can't discount Martin. But you watched it, Prague show live, and you wouldn't have anything against Chris Bumstead winning, right?
Right.
So that you have to put that also in perspective. Many people his highest placing Olympian next to Derek, so he should be fighting for the title and not really Nick. I see Nick being super dangerous. I like Derek's shape much better, for sure. But when we were breaking down pose by pose, I mean, version of Nick that won Arnold Classic, where he had a flawless presentation. You could not see bloated stomach whatsoever. It was glued, a little bit wider waist, but Jay Cutler had a wider waist and controlled abs, and nobody, mentioned anything. So there it is. I think Martin is 10 pounds heavier in comparison to the same time 3 weeks out of the Olympia.
Yeah, but I think he's not as conditioned as he was 3 weeks out from the Olympia right now.
Slightly, yeah. I mean, he has Stefan that dialed him in 3 times already, or 4. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Or-
not saying it's not possible to get him there, but it's just I'm saying that he's probably still a little bit heavier condition-wise than he was 3 weeks out from the Olympia.
Okay, so
But he nailed the Olympia, to be honest. Like, he nailed
Yeah,
it
but like that's what
to
I'm
the
saying.
wall. It's hard to.
I think leading up into the Olympia, he was better conditioned than he is right now. He has more size now. Obviously, you can see it. But is he going to be better conditioned? That I don't know. And I'm not saying it's not possible. They probably have their formula, and I hope it works out for him because he needs it.
yeah. And
Does
I
he need it?
heard Chris Aceto, that video when he was saying that Derek is going to be big time trouble.
Yeah.
He's going to be at his best. So
Yeah, but
What-
this is if nothing goes wrong. I mean, shit can happen to anybody. It happened to us. It happened to me several times. So I mean, I felt like, shit, this is going to be the best I've ever been, and then shit happens.
well, I have a big mouth and I made some claims before. So I'll tell you this: when Fitzwater placed second to Andrew Jack in the Texas show, and they were going to the Arnold UK, right? And they were saying like, oh yeah, it could be, tight. And I just said like, Martin doesn't have a physique to ever beat Andrew, and then he did, right? So he made me take my words back. Martin is super dangerous, has everything, but if he would come to somebody that is dance like Nick or shapely as Derek, just conditioning probably is not gonna do it. You have to have a combination of either or.
Yeah.
What do you see, Mike? Do you see anything that
Well, I'm hearing you guys talk, and definition comes to mind. Like, I like to, whenever I think of bodybuilders, USA Nationals, Olympia, whatever, someone that came in really crisp conditioning is usually when surprises happened. So I like Derek Lunsford's physique. I feel the physiques have changed, obviously, from the early 2000s to now, and it's a little more bloated. It's a little more not as aesthetic, but it is what it is. But I just still feel conditioning is king. I mean, these guys have incredible size, but it just looks a little not proportioned. But I think whoever comes in the best condition, I think that's when someone can take the prize.
you do see a lot of them?
I think that the ab control has gotten better the last couple of years. You don't see as many bloated stomachs on stage anymore. They control it much better now. So I mean, that's very obvious. So they're working on it. A lot of people tend to do vacuums now, even when they hit their shots. So and that wasn't a thing 20 years ago. Was there anybody that hit a vacuum other than Brian Buchanan?
Mm-hmm. I mean, Gustavo was doing a vacuum when I used to coach him.
Was it a real vacuum, or was it just?
I can hit a
something-
vacuum. I can hit a vacuum.
I mean, vacuum double biceps, yeah.
Lex,
We didn't mention the Crizo. I mean, this last few pictures, the most muscular side chest, those are the craziest chest, shoulders, arms you've ever seen, pretty much.
I think we just didn't get there.
Well, what are you making face, Dennis?
I think we just didn't get there yet.
Because like I told you guys last time, I stopped believing what pictures tell me now. I'm too disappointed times. But because you talked about Martin's thin skin, I think no one's skin is thinner than Crizo's. I think Crizo has the thinnest skin and like you said, chest, arms, shoulders. But it's a bodybuilding show. It's not just chest, arms, and shoulders.
Okay, but that most muscular pose, I don't think too many people is going to be more impressive than Crizzo in the most muscular pose.
And you're absolutely right, but unfortunately, it's the last pose in the mandatory. So by
Yeah.
that time, you're probably already behind that where the most muscle and can't save you.
But
You know?
he is improved, and he was never, you never
I
saw
was talking about a
that.
biased coach again.
No, I'm just telling you what I know. I'm telling you what I know.
No, I hear you.
And his back is going to be improved.
Okay. Did you see his back?
Yeah, I mean, I seen his back.
What the- yeah, is that
Yeah.
No.
I seen his back, and I seen how he
See-
improved his
Did you see some
training.
pictures? Did you send you some pictures?
Can I what?
Did you send you some pictures? Can you tell us what he
Not recently. Not recently. This
Okay.
is before when I was there.
Last
But
year?
he
It
did.
would be very impressive if he can come in improved after his shoulder surgery.
He's
I mean,
definitely
come in
improved.
improved. That would be something
Definitely.
special.
Definitely improved, but he never was fat. So that was never an issue, was fat. So him to get in top condition, improved back, hopefully the legs are improved from the rear. That whole backside needs to improve, you
Yeah,
know.
you need some abs.
but
That's what he really needs.
we know he didn't have the glutes going on, but you know,
No end.
so
None.
but if you can improve those hamstrings and back, I think the back will be there. I'm just looking for the hamstrings to improve.
How
And then-
can he beat Goodvito?
Yeah. I got him ahead of him.
What about all right, we got to go into predictions anyways, but we can't forget
Billy Bonac.
William?
where does he fit in that
William?
group? Mhm.
I
And
think-
improved William.
Yes, man. You have to give him respect. He's there. He's hanging in there. And
That the top six can be very interesting, as we know.
Yeah.
So where in the top six would you have William?
he can beat Crizzo. He can beat Goodvito
And Crizzo.
and Crizzo. Yeah, I
Good.
think so. And then, I mean,
Hey,
he's
if
gonna battle the top three.
I was about to say, if Martin is not on top of his game, William's going to be there for sure.
Yeah.
So
William
who
is
else is in the show? Who else is in the show that we never talked about?
Is your
Douglas.
is what's his name in, or is he just doing in New York?
Who?
This guy from
Regan?
Canada but lives
Regan. He's not
Yeah,
doing Pittsburgh. He's just doing New York.
only New York.
I hope they all go to New
A
York.
guy
after
from
that.
Canada.
I hope they all go to New York. So all the people that didn't do Pittsburgh because they think that they don't want to go against these guys.
Skipping out. But you're gonna see all these people in Olympia if you do win a show. So
If you
nowhere
make
to
it to
hide.
Olympia, yeah. So think about this. If Derek wins, Nick's not qualified. So Nick's going to go to New York, right?
Yeah.
So is Martin going to go to New York?
Okay, tell me. Those top three guys, they had a battle, and then next week is another one, and some guys are gonna chicken out and not do it. Why?
Some will go for California
No.
Uh-huh.
or
Next week,
Legion.
New York is huge show, and those three guys are battling right there. Somebody is going to be first, second, and third. How can first, second, or third say, "Okay, I'm not going to take another chance"? Like Mike said, you're
I
gonna
could see
every shot you
Derek's.
can take.
I could see Derek saying this. Okay, I'm gonna shut it down now, and I'm going to get ready for the Olympia.
Yeah,
I can see that happen.
Yeah, but he did make this video. He's going to New York, and he's at this point not really sure if he competes or he's just going to be there.
He's going to be there. That's it. He's saying he's going to be there. He's not competing. I don't. Well, listen. What am I saying? I don't know.
Okay,
I
then.
can see him saying, "I don't have to do New York now."
Okay,
But it's $25,000 first.
Dennis, you competed, and Chris, even Mike, you competed too. You win a huge show with the top three, basically out of top 5 Olympians. Okay, you have your shot. You win or lose, and then next week another show. You choose not to enter because you have better things to do that Saturday. Like, how could you possibly not? Let's have a round 2.
I'd rather sit home and
Play Nintendo.
Did Andrew say he's gonna jump in something or not?
No, Andrew's shutting it down.
Okay.
He wanted his qualification and he wants to make the
Oh,
improvement.
But Dennis and Chris, you didn't answer. If you compete in Pittsburgh, you win or lose, and there is a next shot week later, would you take a chance?
You already
I
know
would,
that,
I would
man.
even take the chance if it was a regular $10,000 fucking show.
You would or
No,
would not?
you know what I would
Absolutely
do.
would.
Absolutely would.
Whatever's in that month, I'm going. I
I-
don't, whatever's in that month, if it's day after
I've
day,
already done the dieting, so I'm gonna extend it 6 more days to.
if it's
I
day
would,
after
I
day
would
or week
already
after
be
week, I'm
prepared
going.
to do it. I would, that would be on my mind this whole damn prep.
I would already sign the contract.
Yeah, me too.
I would
I
put
would go all the way
stuff
to the
on
Legion.
it.
It was me. I would just
Well,
go.
let me see how I
A
play.
month.
That's
Just
not
to
how it
go till the
works.
plane run out of gas.
I'll go that whole month, and I'm going.
If you will make it there, because your travel agent don't know how to book no flight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's just go straight to predictions, guys. I'm gonna start with Chris today because you're on the top left.
I'm on the top left.
Let's predict the top 6
Shit. Do we know?
in particular order. Yeah, we talked about 6 guys just now.
Okay. I have a Goodvito 6th.
Oh, you've done from behind. Okay, good. Video 6. Okay.
I have William 5th, Crizzle 4th. 3rd, I have Martin. 2nd, I have Nick. 1st, I have
There.
what's his name?
Yeah.
Derek.
Okay,
Derek,
I go with first Derek, Nick in 2nd, Martin in 3rd, Bonac in 4th, Goodvito in 5th, and Crizzle in 6th.
Okay. Mike, I'm gonna do it before you, so you hear all 3 of us. I have Derek, Nick, Martin, Bonac, Kriza, and Goodvito. Okay.
I like Derek. I think Derek will take it. Nick has had some injuries, right, in the past few.
Oh, he had a hamstring injury before
Oh,
the
yeah.
Olympia.
Didn't that pull him out of the Olympia?
Yeah.
Because it
Maybe.
happened like a week before, so it
I
was.
haven't seen a lot of pictures of him, but I know he's a
Yeah.
giant guy with a lot of size. So Nick 2nd. I like Andrew. Is he doing it?
Andrew's not competing.
No, it's not doing
He's
it.
not.
I mentioned that, but that was just something I thought.
Okay. And then Williams doing it, Bonac.
Yeah.
I'd give him 3rd. And then the rest of the guys, just like you, Dennis, I'd rather
What
see
about
You put Bonac in front of Martin.
Martin?
Martin Fitzwater.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. And then Brandon Curry.
No, he's not yet.
He's not
not-
competing.
No.
No.
Who else is in it though, besides those 6, you know?
What's
Who
that?
else is doing it? Who,
Besides the 6.
yeah, who else is in the show? Do we know?
I know it's top
Yes.
heavy at 6, but I'm not really sure. Because some people dropped out. That's the thing. Some people dropped out. What's his name?
Let me see if I find the list.
Blessing dropped out, right?
No, he was never in it.
Oh, never in it.
You diet down, train hard, and supplement smart for months. When the time comes to step on stage, don't leave your tan to chance. Go with the pros. Pro Tan. #1 worldwide since 1987 and the official sponsor of the Olympia for the last 15 years. Don't step on stage without it. Pro Tan.
Okay.
I
thought
can't
everybody
believe
was saying I was in that
we
first.
are so-called experts and we don't even know who's in the show too.
Well, I mean, you don't know.
They don't
talking about
announce
the
it
top
yet,
6.
right? You know?
Yeah, I'm right. I can't even find it. It's not going to be announced until Monday
Yeah.
before.
But I was thinking, right? you don't have to sign up until the Monday week of the show.
That's the deadline, yes.
Yeah, because conveniently they let you see how you place in the week before, and then you can decide. I mean, back in our times, Chris, right? We have to sign the contracts like December of a previous year. You send which shows
Some
you
shows.
compete in.
Did you sign the Ironman contract ever?
Who, me?
I didn't.
I didn't. I just called and said, "Hey, I'm gonna be there." It's okay, but he never made me sign a contract for
I
Ironman
think the only time you really had to sign a contract was the Arnold in the Olympia.
or Australia.
Well, yeah, Australia, yeah, because I had to pay Tony his money back one time.
Hold on. You know, they ask you which shows you want to enter, so you put
Yeah,
your
you
and
write down what shows you want to compete in,
Yeah.
and then they'll
and then
send you the
promoters
contract.
promoters would contact you and pay for your either flight or hotel or both, whatever.
Yeah, bro.
That's when you sign the contract. And then
Yeah.
if you pull out of the show, it's a $5,000 penalty. Yes. So they cannot charge you $5,000 if you didn't sign the contract.
Right.
Right.
You have to sign it. We all had to sign it. You just guys,
I didn't pay 5,000. No. I had to return the ticket for the airfare.
Yeah, you have to pay. I mean, there was many shows, including those shows that I did with you, Mike. I didn't really want to compete, but I signed a contract and I had to do it.
Ah.
And by the way, I want to say for people that probably didn't hear Mike making this comment at the 2003 Hungary Pro, we were competing, and he made a video that was super funny video. You want to tell the story?
Well, yeah, I can. When I saw you backstage, I didn't think you were competing. I didn't. I just, you can look at some people's face and you can tell when everything's very sucked in. And I didn't think you were competing. And you started to take your clothes off a little bit, and I still didn't think you were competing. But then I saw you had trunks on. I was like, oh, you must be competing. And then I saw you doing all the things you were doing, and eating.
What was he? Hey, what was he doing? What did you see?
Hold on. But go in detail, because you said I looked like I was a normal guy, white as a ghost, and didn't even look like a bodybuilder.
Go into detail. I want to hear.
I've been a little harsh. And Milo, while we're on this forum, I have to apologize to you, because this whole time I feel like I kind of put you on blast. But when I did that interview with that guy,
Oh, no, I loved it.
that worked. But I just want to formally apologize for you for kind of putting you on blast.
No, I loved it. I really.
No, this
it
is the
made my
cool
day.
story, because you basically showed that never judge a book by its cover.
That's right. Well, that's kind of like what I want to make clear here is, like, the bottom line is you transformed your physique in like an hour's time, to a competitive bodybuilder. You beat me in that competition, but in a very short period of time, the things you did transformed your body.
Did you see what he was doing?
What's that?
Did you see what he was doing?
Yes.
Please say it, please.
I thought I saw you taking injections, insulin, and a cycline. Now, is that true, or is my
You could not possibly. I would
Wait,
never.
what about the injectable
so-
Lasix at the last minute?
Mike, okay.
Yep.
Even if aciclovir was available, you would not do it backstage, right? You would do it
Some people have done it.
hours before.
Had to be
I would never
insulin.
inject myself in front of people. I mean, imagine what that looks like. But I did use insulin, of course, and I had a couple of my friends there. I did use my protocol 45 minutes before the stage. I have to time it, and then I use it, and then of course I would pump up and keep the pump in a muscle, right? So I would really dramatically transform. I could pump my especially chest and shoulders, right? And all of a sudden, this is where you create the illusion of the fullness and the size when your chest is fully blown. Like I know when Dennis James pump up his chest in a gym, this was like, holy hell. And then it doesn't matter if he does most muscular, right? The crab, or he does a side chest. It's like bursting, okay?
With
So-
that tongue.
Dennis was an example of that. I would change. Some people don't even pump up backstage, but I did. And I knew I was not really competitive to be top 3, but I just wanted to, that was my retirement show. I decided I'm going to retire. So I was hoping maybe I could make a top 5, but I think I was 6th. I didn't deserve top 5. But that was really funny because I know we are competing, and I'm sure that you saw me backstage. I said, oh, I'm going to kick his ass this time, right? And then I just did enough to beat you, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Well, I mean, Paul Gillette was in that show too, but that was
Yeah.
at the end of his career, so.
Hey,
but
Milos,
Mm-mm.
Milo, you strike me as a person that has everything with you. You probably have a fanny pack full of goodies at that time, but somehow, some way, whenever I needed some insulin, you motherfucking don't have none.
Here come the excuses
You
again.
motherfucking no, because you just reminded me.
That's the old Arnold. You're gonna give it to
You-
here.
I know, but he's there. No, Dennis, but he's there to coach someone in Canada, and I needed it because I came off of on my deathbed, and I had like my nitrogen balance was low as shit at that time. I was like, Milos, you can give me some insulin? Yeah, I'll be right back. He fucking never came back. He never came back.
That's probably not true. Just the same story he says about me when I says,
But he never.
let me get it. I'll be right back.
Milos, tell the truth. Tell
No,
the truth.
Chris, first, I'm dead serious. If you remember it, then there's maybe
He
some
was helping
to it.
Joe Stubbs.
Maybe you asked me and I told you, and something happened. But why would I not give you?
I don't fucking know.
Listen,
I
give
give
everyone
the same story
everything.
with me, but he asked me. Supposedly, he asked me
Dennis,
for.
you did.
First of all,
Okay,
Chris,
Okay.
first of all, as a pro, you're in
Milos,
charge and
Milos,
responsible for your own
Milos.
shit. For one,
look at Milos smiling like a chess cat. Milos. Let's
listen.
let's just
If
stop
you-
the
If you
bullshit.
would tell me the story, I would say
Let's stop the
this
bullshit, Milos.
no.
Chris.
Here, I can tell you this. Canada, go through the customs in Canada.
Hmm.
Can you bring anything? I did
No,
not
I didn't
bring
bring
anything
nothing.
myself because I wasn't competing. My guys competing, they had something, of course. There was their responsibility. So if you ask me and I didn't have it, and one of those guys had it, maybe I could have get it from them, and then I didn't.
But you said I didn't ask you? I was asking everybody.
I do remember in the hotel lobby. I do remember exactly
Yeah.
what you asked me. But I don't remember what happened
Okay,
later.
Dennis.
It's the
Okay,
same
Dennis.
situation. It's the
This
same
is the meeting
situation with
point.
me. He asked me, supposedly asked me for
You had
direct.
some water pills. You did have them.
Chris,
You didn't want to give them.
I can almost prove
Did
to
you want
you.
to? You said you
are
wanted to
wrong.
beat me.
No. I didn't know I was going to beat you there, man. I wasn't even there yet. I didn't think that.
You
No,
told Joe Weider that.
I guarantee you, if you would have asked me, if you would have really asked me, and if I didn't want to give it to you, I would have said I don't have any. That's it. Simple as that. I would never tell you, let me go get it, and I'll be right back. That's bullshit. You probably mixed that up with a different
You're
story.
full of
when you
shit right
asked me-
now.
When you asked me
You're
on the
full of
plane
shit right now.
earlier, didn't you ask me on the plane to Australia for fucking insulin?
And then we went to Amsterdam after that.
Hold on, answer the question.
What?
Did you
What'd
not
you say?
ask me on the plane? On the plane, I mean, literally airborne. Did you not ask me for insulin?
I don't remember that.
But he says he never.
See, that you don't remember because I gave it to you. That you don't remember, but some bullshit that you never asked, that's the shit you remember. He asked me on the plane. We on the fucking flight.
Because
And I gave it to him.
this fucking guy. You
Sorry,
gonna leave?
Mike.
Okay, Milos, leave me out on the
Milos
fucking
was-
limb again.
You know who was sitting
All
right
right,
next to
Milos,
me?
leave me out on the limb.
Hey, Chris, you know who
What?
was sitting right next to me who said to me, you should have never gave it.
Milos,
Chris, listen.
who? Dexter,
No, Melvin.
Melvin. Oh, fucking Melvin. Melvin always.
How many diuretics I gave you in the goddamn Amsterdam?
You know?
Because you had a 7 cheese ham sandwiches the night before, and then the 2 milligrams of Bumex wasn't enough.
What about those photos you sent me? I'm passed out in the damn in the hotel lobby.
I'm gonna make this public. Listen, I will give anything to anybody if they would ask me.
Right.
And they usually know that I have about 5 different diuretics.
I vouch for that. I vouch for that.
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
that pouch.
if Chris really asked you,
Mike,
and
order.
you said yes, then you would have gave it to him. There's no way.
Yeah.
Uh,
But I do
anyway,
remember you asking me. I think there was.
You know what the problem is with Chris? He
what's
probably
the
asked
problem with
20
Chris?
different, 20 different people, and he doesn't remember who he really asked.
Oh
Because he asked
shit!
everybody.
I know exactly what happened, brother.
Chris, I swear, you never asked me for no diuretics. And if you did ask me, and if I wouldn't
And
want to
some
give it to you,
color
what?
and some protein.
That's what you ask.
I needed protein too.
What else you needed? Trunks? A fucking ride? What else?
Just those
Fucking
two.
diuretics, color, insulin. What else you want? You want wife?
Maybe I think our memories are starting to fade a little bit.
I like boozy.
I know my memory's not as good as it used
Hey,
to
I get to a country. Hey, dog, I need some. Anybody out there?
You know, Mike, when we get older, we repeat ourselves, and I repeat
Hey,
myself.
do you believe
Anybody have something?
you guys
But I
believe the guys nowadays ask each other for stuff when they travel?
Probably not.
They probably don't even talk to each other.
I don't know if they talk really. So Mike, I said that story. You probably didn't hear it. It was super funny. It's Amsterdam, and Chris and I came. I don't know, 30 minutes before, and then we had to wait for Ronnie Coleman. So the guy is gonna just take us to hotel, right? And so Ronnie Coleman came now 2002. You know, week before he lost to Gunther, right? He won the Olympia. And Chris is still competing in European shows. So Ronnie was the biggest, so he's the front seat, and I'm back with Chris. So Chris goes, "Hey, Ronnie, you have some protein?" And then he said, "I have pro what?" He goes, "Protein." I said, "Hell no! I was born with it. Why would I need that?" Right? So I was convinced, right? Okay, he's not using it. So I'm now telling him Max Charles that story, like how Ronnie never used it. He said, "Oh, he used it." So then I said, no. Let me text to Ronnie. Hey, Ronnie, do you use protein? Of course you do. I said, man, you told Chris, you are born with it. You're not going to use it. I said, I'm not going to give it to Chris. So
you see, ladies and gentlemen, it's a conspiracy.
I would give you insulin if I had it.
I gave it to him.
Yeah, I would give it to you.
He used it right there on the plane.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
I
Mike,
know
Hey, then he beat me.
Hey, I remember we came back from
All I can say,
Europe.
I helped him beat me.
Hey, I remember we came back from Europe one time, and I had the most terrible gas you ever want to imagine.
I was coming back from the Arnold.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Everybody left me in the back of the plane. I was just sitting back there by myself. It was like the whole back of the plane was cleared out.
No,
I
but for
started
the
taking all
Arnold, we
those.
had the same thing one time. I was sitting next to a couple. They had to get her off. She had an asthma attack. And then I came up to you and I told you about it. You were sitting there with the blanket wrapped around your legs. He said, a filter. He said a filter.
oh man.
Start eating all that crap after the show. Hey, but how are we doing that? We're going to a banquet after the show, and then we got to be on the plane the next morning. We got to be downstairs at 5 a.m. the next morning. Then we got another show, another banquet, and then same thing over and over again, 4 days in a row.
Did you guys see that one athlete winning that one show? I don't know, was it in somewhere in the Middle East? That little shorter guy, the brother.
Yeah, from
Destiny. I think
IBB
Destiny something is his Instagram.
IBB. Yeah, good physique.
Yeah, he's with the other federation. That dude.
Oh yeah. I saw that.
We need to convince that dude to come over and join the NPC, get his pro. Oh, let me tell you guys a story before I forget. You want to hear a fucking listen? Yeah. You guys remember Ronnie Raquel, right?
What?
Yeah.
Ronnie Raquel?
Ronnie Raquel, yeah. Ronnie in Germany, you say Raquel.
Okay.
So he was as high as top 6 at the Olympia one year.
Yeah.
And so he put in for the Masters.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And he was not invited for the Masters, So I was kind of like, I was a little shocked. I said, how would he not get an invite?
Yeah, I was shocked too.
Little did I know is that was only because he lost his IFBB Pro status because he went as an IFBB Pro back then when he started competing for another federation for NAC in Germany. So he started competing for them and he did some shows somewhere. So because of that, he lost his IFBB Pro status. And he didn't even know, I guess.
Could he have redone it?
No, because if you do that, you lose your status. There's no reinstating a
Oh,
status
really?
lost through breaking the contract where you signed that as an IFBB Pro. You can't get on stage, compete for another federation. You didn't even left us yet.
That's like
You know
back
what
when
I'm
we
saying?
had the
So he
WWF
lost his status. So now
back in the
he
day.
basically has to, if he wants to compete again as an IFBB Pro, he has to win his pro card again. So
Oh,
he told me yesterday over the phone that he's going to be doing one of my pro qualifiers in September.
oh shit.
And at 53 years old, he's trying to get his pro card again.
Wow.
Oh wow.
But
So
Masters is in August.
there's no Masters. He's not going to do the Masters. It's too late for the Masters.
Oh man.
Too late for the Masters. So he's going to compete September 13th and trying to get his pro card.
Is he looking pretty good? I heard he was looking all right.
Yeah, I don't know. He's gonna guest pose at one of our shows on May 3rd. I don't know.
Okay.
Listen, 53 is 53. That's not 43. That's not 33, and definitely not 23. So
I mean,
There's
he's
a look.
perfect for Masters, not for a pro level, you know.
well,
I
let's
hope
see
the
if he can get his
federation
pro
consider
card.
it.
But that will be a story for a video. Like get your pro
Oh
card
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Didn't Lee Priest compete in different federation, but then he was reinstated in IBB?
He got
Yeah.
his pro card.
Yeah.
Oh,
They gave him his pro card for 2025. Did he
Yeah.
compete? Yeah, he did the NABA.
Yeah.
and something else. I forgot.
That's why I was a little bewildered by you saying that you gotta go try to get his card again.
Hey,
Yeah.
Dennis, I got a question
Yeah.
for you. If he does your show to qualify as a pro, can you invite me to that show? Maybe I can hand out a trophy for you because I competed with Ronnie a lot, and I thought that would be pretty.
But it's in Germany though.
Oh, it is. Oh, well, I mean,
He has a
Feel
show in
free.
town.
I would love to have you give out the trophy. It's in Germany. It's in Germany.
if you fly me out there, I'll hand out a trophy.
I got
2005.
two other fools to fly out who's on the list.
Well, keep me in mind.
We've been
You're out.
petitioning for years now. Stand in line. We can't even get to fucking Phoenix.
But it's going to be a great event. It's the European Championships. So the 13th is a pro qualifier. And then the 14th will have all 10 professional categories.
Yeah.
Literally all of them, from women
August
bodybuilding
what?
all the way to fitness.
Was that August what? What was it?
September 13th and 14th.
I'm sorry, September. Oh shit.
It's the last qualifier for this year's Olympia. Literally the last one. Deadline.
That's exciting news.
So and I told Ronnie if he wins his pro card, he can literally compete the next day with the pros.
Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that show in Australia.
I said put that on a video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The show that you competed in Australia with Chris, that Lee was first, Chris was second. Ronnie Raquel was third.
Yeah.
Was he?
You were like top 5. Yeah. Ronnie kept competing until like 2017 Olympia, the 212 class.
Wait a minute.
Ronnie Raquel competed.
No.
Class.
No.
I thought it was a different class before.
Wait.
Was it 210?
Yeah.
Or 202?
Whatever it is. No, 2017 was
I
already.
think 2017 he competed last time.
It's in IBB. And then 2018 he did that Chinese show that you mentioned last time.
210?
But you know, this is like top 6 Olympian, and there was competing forever and ever. I don't know. I mean, I think they should pardon him and let him compete at the Olympia Masters. You know, for the love of God, it's Ronnie Raquel.
Pick the red tape.
Well, sometimes you got to enforce the rules.
Yeah, but the rules had to be changed, and you could consider it.
Maybe you should put a letter in and
No,
request.
but we're saying it here on the podcast, so you're going to be heard. I mean, I really think that he deserves. Why would I not express my opinion? Listen,
Well, I think that this it's a different. I think it's a little different when you just retire and then you come back, and let's say because of the new rules when you don't have an active membership for 3 years, your status is gone. That's a different ballgame. But if you compete with a different federation, I think that's like leaving me and going to some other bitch, and then you want to come back, and I was like, it's okay. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
you guys are too sensitive. Come on.
It's like, but listen, if you sign a contract that states that if you get on stage with other federation or so, you lose your status. They let this do it. If they let that slide, then they're gonna let it slide for everybody.
No, the exceptions are too,
But what reason is the what reason would that be? How do you go? And then someone
53
else
years old.
comes.
Listen, okay, so here's my view. Ronnie Raquel, we all love. He's a man of few words. He had everything that you want to appreciate in the physique, size, shape, aesthetics. Complete. He's 53 years old. He wants to make another Masters Olympia appearance. He doesn't really want to turn pro. Right? So I don't even understand why the hell would he turn pro for? What, he's going to compete as a 53-year-old among youngsters?
Maybe he wants to do the Masters next year then.
There is no
It can be
Masters
the year
every
after. Isn't it every 2 years, I think?
Yeah, Masters is every other year. So I mean,
You can be back there for 55 with 55. Yeah,
Okay.
he's basically getting ready to win his pro card. So who am I to tell him not to do it or do and he tried, he was told this is what happens, he does not have to qualify for the pro qualifier, and they gave him that much, which I think it's great because he don't have to go to a regional show to qualify for the pro qualifier. So he can go straight to any pro qualifier in the world. He doesn't even have to do my show if he don't want to. He can go to one whenever, So he's guest posing now on May 3rd. We'll see what he looks like. Because he was getting ready for the Masters, hoping that he's going to get the invite. So it's not like he's not prepared. So he should be actually close, 4, 5, 6 weeks out, whatever it is to the Masters. I don't know.
August, so if this is, I hope that IBB would consider it. Listen, I always say, if I'm speaking the truth, why would I be ashamed? Okay? If somebody doesn't like my opinion, so be it, but at least I'm not afraid to express it. I think that Ronnie Raquel deserved enough with his accomplishments and what he did, for the IBB, that they should consider him, okay, listen, spank him and let him compete.
How you spank him?
Spank him. Power slap.
Power slap.
All right, guys, listen, Mike, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah,
Good talk and good information. I can't wait for the fans to listen to some of that stuff. And Chris, Milos, as always.
Just to conclude, Mike, are you now back a little bit more into bodybuilding? We're going to be seeing you around.
Yeah, the plan is to go out to Mr. Olympia, and if Dennis invites me to one of his shows, like I said, I'd love
You don't need an invite. You just need to let me know because you know that Denise and Josh are always there.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
If you want to come to the show, of course, and you don't have to buy no ticket to come to my show.
Okay, I will reach out.
You should know that.
Are you doing some coaching also?
Yes, I am. I am doing online
Okay,
training.
how can people contact you?
They can contact me through my email, which is morrismj20@gmail.com. And then you can also go through my Instagram, which is IFBB Mike Morris.
Very good. All right.
And you train out of Metroflex Phoenix.
I do have a full-time job, but I do have some slots available at 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock. But I try to do more online stuff now.
Yeah.
But there is
Okay.
availability for that. So
Sounds good.
yeah.
All right, my guys.
Great seeing you, Mike.
Be safe.
All right, good to see you, Mike.
See you all next week.
Thank you, brother.
Yes, thank
Peace
you.
out.